annoying, Kourtney. You're being annoying.
Why? Because Kim wants it around her schedule?
Do you know what we're fighting about? There are people
that her day.
Maybe if you had a business that you were passionate about, then you would know what it takes to run a business, but you don't. So don't even act like you know what I'm talking about.
I cannot handle and be around you when you're just a bitch. Your words have...
Bro, what is going on? Travis, bro, what are you doing? Holy shit, dude. I think he's lost it.
Nice.
A healthy relationship adds so much, that's added so much to my life.
For over a decade, the Kardashian family has built a kingdom, one made of beauty, fame, and controversy. But behind every glossy photo and red carpet smile, there's a quiet truth the cameras rarely show. The deeper the bond, the more painful the betrayal. When Kourtney Kardashian married Travis Barker, it looked like the fairy tale ending fans had waited for. The quiet sister had finally found her voice, and her forever. But what no one expected was that this love story would become the spark that lit the greatest war the Kardashian family had ever faced. Because in this empire, love isn't just love. It's business, legacy, and power. And when two sisters, Kim and Kourtney, found themselves standing on opposite sides, everything the Kardashians had built began to crack. Long before the fame, before the millions of followers and billion-dollar brands, there were just two sisters, Kim and Kourtney, growing up in Beverly Hills. Kim was ambitious, strategic, always one step ahead. Kourtney was quieter, cautious, often described as the grounded one. For years, their dynamic worked. Kim reached for the spotlight, and Kourtney preferred the background. But as their empire grew, that balance began to crumble. Kourtney started feeling like a supporting character in her own family story, always the sister of Kim Kardashian, never just Kourtney. Those early tensions would eventually become the cracks that split their empire apart. By 2021, Kourtney's life had changed. She had spent years trying to find real happiness after her turbulent relationship with Scott Disick, and then, seemingly out of nowhere, love found her right next door. Travis Barker, the tattooed drummer of Blink-182, had been her neighbor for years. Their kids played together. Their families shared dinners. For years, it was friendship, simple and familiar. But when that friendship turned romantic, the entire world took notice. Suddenly, the most private Kardashian became the center of attention. Every photo showed a woman reborn, smiling, glowing, in love. And beside her stood a man who wore his heart on his sleeve and her name tattooed across his chest. The world fell in love with their story. But inside the Kardashian circle, something was shifting. At first, Kim was supportive. She called Travis a great guy and celebrated her sister's new happiness. But as the media frenzy grew, so did the attention on Kourtney. And for once, it wasn't about Kim. The couple's endless public displays of affection on red carpets, in restaurants, even at family events, became headlines. Fans called them Hollywood's most passionate couple. Memes and fan pages exploded. But while the internet celebrated, Kim started to notice something else. Her sister, the one she had always overshadowed, was suddenly becoming the star. And in a family built on fame, that kind of shift changes everything. In 2022, Kourtney and Travis made it official. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. A spontaneous Las Vegas ceremony officiated by an Elvis impersonator, a quiet courthouse wedding in Santa Barbara, and finally, a grand Gothic celebration in Italy, hosted by Dolce & Gabbana. The event was breathtaking. Crimson roses, candlelit arches, cathedral veils, and whispered vows overlooking the Portofino Sea. It was, in every sense, a moment of pure fantasy. But beneath the beauty, whispers began to spread. Some guests noticed tension among the sisters. Kim smiled for the cameras, but her eyes told another story. Because for Kim, business is everything. And Kourtney's wedding wasn't just a family event, it was a brand. Just months after the wedding, Kim announced her own collaboration with Dolce & Gabbana, the same designers who had dressed Kourtney for her wedding, the same aesthetic, the same colors, the same vibe. To Kim, it was business, a smart, strategic partnership. But to Kourtney, it was unforgivable. In her words, "She used my wedding as a business opportunity." The tension exploded on camera. Kourtney confronted Kim Kim, voice shaking with emotion. "You stole my moment! My wedding wasn't just an event, it was my heart." Kim snapped back. "It's business, Kourtney. You don't own Dolce & Gabbana." That wasn't just an argument. It was the moment their relationship shattered. Because it wasn't just about clothes, it was about respect, about being seen, about years of quiet competition finally boiling over. What followed was chaos, both on screen and off. On The Kardashians, fans saw the feud unfold in real time. The tears, the insults, the distance. Kourtney called Kim a narcissist. Kim called Kourtney lazy. Their once unbreakable bond had turned into open hostility. Even their children began to feel the tension. Family dinners became awkward. Group events became negotiations. And the matriarch, Kris Jenner, was forced into the impossible role of referee between two daughters who no longer trusted each other. As the feud deepened, another rumor resurfaced, the one involving Travis Barker and Kim. Years earlier, Travis had admitted to having a crush on Kim long before dating Kourtney. Though both denied anything ever happened, the internet had a field day. For Kourtney, it was salt in an open wound. To the world, it was just gossip. But to her, it felt like history repeating itself. The man she loved, the sister she fought, the brand that divided them both. Behind the cameras, the Kardashian empire was quietly shifting. Kim doubled down on business, Skims, Ski-An, law projects, and brand deals. Kourtney retreated into her own world, her wellness brand Poosh, motherhood, and her love bubble with Travis. Fans noticed. Kim's followers admired her ambition. Kourtney's fans praised her peace. But together, the sisters had become strangers. What once made the family powerful, unity, had turned into division. And every new season of their show seemed to heal nothing, only deepen the wound. In 2023, a new chapter began. During a Blink-182 concert, Kourtney held up a sign that read, "Travis, I'm pregnant." The crowd roared. Cameras flashed. It was pure joy, her way of saying, "I choose happiness." But even that moment reignited the family tension. Some fans accused her of attention-seeking. Others saw it as liberation. Kourtney didn't care. For once, she wasn't performing for the cameras. She was living her life. And maybe, for her, that was the truest victory of all. Still, to Kim, the feud wasn't betrayal. It was survival. In her mind, she built the empire. She carried the brand when others pulled away. She managed the scandals, the divorces, the headlines. She wasn't trying to hurt Kourtney. She was protecting what she built. But that's the tragedy of power. When you hold too tightly, even love starts to look like a threat. By 2024, the sisters had reached a fragile peace, but the damage was done. They spoke carefully in interviews, smiled politely on camera, but the warmth was gone. And in the background, fans whispered the question that still haunts them. Can the Kardashian empire survive without sisterhood at its core? Because if you look closely, behind the makeup, the money, and the luxury, this isn't a story about fame. It's a story about two sisters who lost each other on the road to success. Maybe this is what happens when love meets ambition, when family becomes a brand, when every smile has a camera waiting to capture it, and every heartbreak becomes content. Kourtney wanted peace. Kim wanted power. Both got what they wanted, but at a price neither expected. And in the end, that's the painful truth behind the glitz and glamour. In Hollywood, even family ties can break under the weight of fame. So where does that leave us now? Kim continues to rule the business world. Kourtney continues to live for love. The empire still stands, but its foundation has shifted forever. Was Kim's ambition her strength or her downfall? Was Kourtney's search for peace brave or naive? You decide, because in the Kardashian world, truth and loyalty are just as fragile as the glass heels they wear. What do you think? Did Kim betray her sister, or did Kourtney walk away first? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the stories behind the headlines. Because if there's one thing we've learned after all these years, in the Kardashian family, love is never simple, and the drama never ends.